I'm quite a big fan of comedy horror animations, and as such, I was very much drawn to Daddy, I'm a Zombie. That's despite the fact that I don't really care about zombies as characters, never really been that drawn to them. But Daddy, I'm a Zombie is one that I do particularly enjoy. This was released in 2011, written by Daniel Torres and directed by Joan, Espinach, Ricardo, Ramón, and MJ Lallo. I apologise if I've mispronounced any of those names. And this revolves around a girl called Dixie. She is a teenager. She's kind of singled out as being weird because she's very gothic in her appearance, which I love. I absolutely love that. I love the style of her. The animation style isn't my favourite style of animation, but I do still like it for the most part, particularly when the scenery turns a lot more gothic. And the narrative is it's quite interesting. So I'll read a little bit of the description from Imdb, but not all of it. So this is: Dixie is a 13-year-old girl unhappy with her life. 5 years ago, her mother divorced from her father, a coroner, and in her college, she is considered weird due to her gothic aspect. One night, Dixie suffers an accident when a tree crashes against her during a storm. Dixie wakes up later in the middle of a cemetery, turned into a zombie, with the help of Isis, an Egyptian mummy, and Gonner, a pirate zombie. Dixie tries to return to life, etc., etc. Now, the fact that we have so many different kind of horror characters in here. We have the Egyptian mummy, the pirate zombie. There is a witch character in this. It's really a mixed bag of all of these beautiful gothic imagery. These creatures, beings, individuals that we love, particularly around Halloween. So visually, it is actually quite a treat because all of these characters just... There's something really bizarre as well about the animation style with their kind of tiny chins and big eyes. That sounds like I've just described Tim Burton's style, but it's not really my... I guess, in a way, you could kind of say it looks slightly like Corpse Bride, but not really. I don't think anybody could ever illustrate as good as Tim Burton, but I am biased. I love him. The narrative's alright. It develops relatively well. And I find that Dixie reacts to her new personality quite well. I think it's fairly believable. The way she interacts with the other characters is quite interesting. Certainly the other characters themselves are fairly well written. They're, pretty interesting. They're a mixed bunch. And together they work well on screen. And that could have gone either way. The narrative's not exactly the most exciting I've ever seen, but I like the fact. The thing that I love about this is that it's taking horror and making it accessible to children. This is rated PG. It's very much kind of a Mona the Vampire kind of feel. That's the vibe I get from it. Not in the animation style, but in the mood and the themes. That's very much what I kind of read into this. I enjoyed it. It's actually pretty good. It's rated 4.3 out of 10 on Imdb, which is not exactly great, but that's under 500 reviews. The sequel, Mummy I'm a Zombie, is 4.6 out of 10, and that's fewer than 200 reviews. So, although it's not the most well rated, it's also not the most watched. If you have a penchant for comedy horror animations, then I'd say it's definitely worth watching. It's good fun. It's not to be taken seriously. It's not like... I keep going back to Corpse Bride because it's my favourite. It's my favourite comedy horror animation. That one is emotive. It's thought-provoking. This is not that deep. It's just good fun. A nice way to spend an hour and a half. Appeals to pretty much everybody. It's rated PG. If it sounds like your kind of thing, I'd say give it a go. You're probably going to like it.